Date 14th of the 9th, 2024. The time 19 minutes past 9, and we are T minus 11 minutes away from an FP3. A weird FP3. There's lots of questions that need answering. Are Red Bull genuinely back? Are McLaren now off the pace as they looked in FP2? What is going on? Is this a new levelling of the competitive landscape as far as the 2024 season? Who knows? Gonna get techie. Dean, you're a legend. I don't know. FP1 is 9 p.m. It's techie, isn't it, this timing? I think we're blessed over here in the UK. Although the upcoming racings are going to be at weird and quirky times, aren't they, Mark? No, not a night race for UK. FP3 does indeed start in 12 minutes or 10 minutes now. Joanna, you're a legend. Listen to Max Verstappen here, saying that we're more competitive this weekend. Checo Perez looks happy, doesn't he? Checo Perez just been on summer break. Ladies and gents, like, what's going on here? Face chiseled, he's been going gym, been getting some sun in him. It is Mr. Charles Leclerc, aka modern day journalazy. It's when he doesn't have his moustache right. When Charles Leclerc is Mr. Clean Shaven. Doesn't work. Mistakes start to creep in, as per usual. We don't want to see that. Charles, I think you need to grow the... Movember needs to be full time for Charles Leclerc, methinks. You know what I mean? He's got to. Carlos Sainz looks good as well, doesn't he? Both in and out the car, like he looks fresh, looks chiseled. Everybody looks like they've been away again. Wasn't like, what are we doing? Techie analyst in techie moments. Iconic. It's got to get techie today. Proper tech. Checo for Paul, says Teddy. It's not the first time, mate. I'm doing fine. Thank you, OVT. I'm looking forward to this weekend's automotive festivities, I'm going to be honest. Lewis says Red Bull looked really quick. Mate, you look rapid. You were like, you had... Lewis Hamilton was running 0 downforce as near as makes no difference. See what I mean? Morning, Kenny. I hope you're well. This is going to get techie. T minus 8 minutes away. Lando looks like he just woke up, bless him. New hairstyle. Mate, nobody knows. Everybody's like... All of the drivers are like, well, Red Bull look fast, McLaren look fast, Mercedes look fast, Ferrari look fast, and nobody knows, right? Oh, the humanity. We are here. I tell you what, though, as far as the odds makers, we've said this already, right? 12.5% was the chances that they were giving Max Verstappen of dropping this on pole today before FP1. Post FP2, that's changed. No longer is it 12.5%. It is nearer 25%, meaning that the experts in this, if there is such a thing as far as prognosticating for the Wonder Fs, they're saying that Max Verstappen could go well, that he looks good. Incoming McLaren Saturday domination. You think so, AVT? Coin toss settings for me. 4 teams in the hunt for poles, says Ben. Oh, the humanity. Oh, no. This is going to get techie. Right, go on then. For Red Bull, look. I think there's a couple of things that will come into play, particularly in FP3 and, of course, in qualifying going forward. Look how Checo Perez just looks well, man. Look at his face. He just looks like... It looks like he's got a gym membership. What's going on there? Anybody would think he'd had some more sessions with Rob Wilson, let's say, on the recommend of one Peter D. Windsor, eh? But he doesn't look bad, does Checo, and set to go really well around here. Imagine I need to get myself a couple sessions with Rob Wilson. If one session with Rob Wilson returns Checo Perez's form like this, then I need to put myself in. Because I need that much. I need speed like that in life. What are you talking about? That's bonkers. Go on then. 54 of you watch a good do me a favour, special life. Grateful to each and every single one of you in extremis, and I mean that because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me today with T minus 6 minutes on the clock till we get ourselves a cheeky FP3, and it's gonna get techie. Qualifying counts a lot, says Bernie Collins, but that notwithstanding, there's going to be an extended DRS zone as versus last year, an extra 100 meters So it's going to be easy and difficult to overtake around here at the same time. There are loads of DRS zone overtakes, as obvious. And how does the big question, as far as the variance between the teams and how many points of downforce they tack on by virtue of their front and rear wing, how that translates through to the paid session, both the quali and the race, right? Depending on how the underlying rate of track evolution is going to be super important, because those who have less downforce on and so less grip, that means that they're expecting a greater rate of track evolution, aren't they? Otherwise, they're going to deg their tyres ridiculously quick. On the flip side of that, those who have tapped on more downforce points are expecting less of a rate of evolution as far as the track grip, or the grip that the track is offering, and it's going to be techie. Where do you put your chips, ladies and gents? You know what I mean? How do you square for that circle? It's going to be techie. What's going on? Living on the edge. I hope you're good. Visual in the house, mate. It's going to be techie. I'm nervous. Not even qualifying, imagine. And for qualifying, of course, we will be here live 30 minutes before lights out. It's going to get techie. Harry Benjamin in the commentary box as always. No Brundle. Just Karan Chanda. I do fit. Look, I'm going to have to switch over to F1 TV at some point now. When it's not Crofty, I know people, a lot of Crofty divides opinion, right? When it's not Crofty and Brundle, I feel like I should be getting a discount on my Sky Sports subscription, I'll be honest with you. I'm getting the B team. I'm getting Harry Benjamin and Karan Chanda. And Karan hasn't been bad of late. Karan's a genius F1 mind. He is. He's very good. If Crofty's having time off, then I need to get GBP back into my account. It's only fair, I think. I paid for Crofty and Brundle, and I'm getting Harry Benjamin and Karan Chanda, and I don't want that. You know what I mean? T-minus 4 minutes away from a cheeky FP3. What's going on, Donald? Mate, you're a legend. Over to you, Anna. Dean says, if Max and Checo can qualify first and second, Checo will back at the pack and Max will roll to victory. Oh, the humanity, Dean. 4D F1 thinking there, and you are absolutely on the money, of course. I'd like to hear Cameron look on the TV. You're a legend, Hanny. I appreciate you. We're going to be reacting. FP3, I think, hopefully it'll be uneventful for the most part. Just data gathering still. But I think there are points, lessons that we'll learn. It's going to get techie a boob. We're just thinking, are the bottom aero parts allowed to be flexible? I don't think you want the bottom aero parts to be flexible. So what they would like, but is banned, is skirts on the side, just as Colin Chapman debuted back in the 1970s in the around the inception of ground effect cars, right? The side skirts would seal the underfloor and make sure the aero underneath was super clean. Super high pressure? Low pressure. High pressure over it. Ergo giving you more downforce. F1 TV gives old C4 comment. Oh no, that's a good shout actually. I need to diversify my my commentary portfolio. I think the B team. It's true though, but Ben, they are the B team, and I don't want that. I'm not paying B team money. My money is stasis. You know what I mean? My Sky Sports subscription doesn't vary depending on the quality of. So that would be a good thing. I think they should ask viewers. We're getting wind conversation. We've got rain chat potentially as well. What is going on? Rain at Baku. That must be a harbinger of the apocalypse, surely. Who's going into the barriers first thing this morning? Teddy says, mate. I mean, you'd go Colapinto. I don't want to wish bad on anybody, but you'd go Colapinto if anyone. Who else? Who else? Modern day Sean the Lazy. Who'd back against a cheeky love kiss between modern day journalism and the barriers, eh? Not me. Definitely not me. Do you know what I mean? Bless him, Charles. He's so good. Do you know what I mean? This is the juxtaposition that Charles poses as an F1 Rubik's Cube. Like, it's techie for Charles. He's brilliant. We are T-1 away from a cheeky FP3 session. Ted Kravitz on deck. Ollie Behrman needs to be talked about as well, doesn't he? because he's not been bad. Ferrari playing Will Smith with he's got the hip hop klaxon sound. Will Smith at the Ferrari garage. Playing, getting jiggy with it. I don't really want to see Will Smith. I think many people in the world haven't forgiven him for his indiscrepancies or indiscretions even at the Oscars. I don't really want to see Will Smith. He needs to apologise first. I haven't heard the apology. Yeah, I don't really want to see Will Smith. I'll be honest with you. Don't like him. And I used to love him back in the day of Fresh Prince. Go away, Will Smith. What's going on? Do we need to have a conversation about how quickly F1 is to open its arms to stars who don't care about the sport? It's interesting that Will's not at Lewis Hamilton's garage, eh? I thought they were good friends. I thought they'd filmed a sketch once upon a time where Will was kidnapping Lewis Hamilton and wanted to visual. I don't like him. I can't even lie. I'm not even gonna. I cannot pretend. Don't like him. I used to love him. Was my hero as the Fresh Prince once upon a time. Not any more. All right, let's have a go. Right, the weather's a bit dodgy. Wind is a bit dodgy. The track is a bit dodgy. What do I mean by the track's a bit dodgy? It's one of those, it's a Jekyll and a Hyde sort of track, as is the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps. Sector 1 and Sector 3 are super, super quick. Sector 2, super, super twisty. So you need, it's a shame, you'd almost want there to be more of a homologation as far as the characteristics of the track. This, though, poses them a problem in that they need high downforce Sector 1 speed and high downforce a little bit. Braking from maximal velocity in Sector 1. Sector 2, super twisty. And Sector 3, again, super fast. So there, you want to leverage your maximal velocity again. It's techie, this. It is techie. What's going on, Daniel? I hope you're good, mate. This is going to get techie. And we are 2 minutes into a cheeky FP3, meaning that Cameron needs to pull out his finger and get himself some metrics on the go. And again, our metrics are brought to you, as always, this morning by our mates over at Multiviewer. Do you know what I mean? How do you like your F1 viewing? Let's go. Harry Benjamin saying that Red Bull had one of the best Fridays in the world. Everybody's getting scared for Red Bull again is the issue. That's the issue. Checo Post reporting it is a little bit damp. The track. Oh, the humanity. This is chaos. The track is damp in Baku. Checo Perez out straight away. Kurun Chandit remarking that that's different for them. That Red Bull, the reason why they're out so early is because they're still trying to find answers, right? They've got the mishmash floor, haven't they? A bit of the old, a bit of the new, as if it's a wedding or something. Something old, something new, something bright, something blue. That's the phrase that, in my opinion, characterises the upgraded floor that Red Bull have brought to this, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Still trying to understand the fundamental flaws, lack of handling and balance that Max and Checo have been experiencing as far as the dynamics of that RB20. Oh, the humanity. Right, let me get up these get you up some cheeky stats. Do you know what I mean? I mean, if you can't see, then you can't see. What's going on here? Let's have a go. Kurun Chandit stating the obvious. It does appear now that McLaren have the quickest car since Budapest onwards. Raising the question once again, what has happened? Why? Why? bonkers? Is it because Adrian Newey's gone? Is there a fiddle break at play? Who knows? Like, what's going on? It's techie, this. Everybody's trying to become a Columbo, put on their detective caps and find out exactly what's going on to 2 decimal places. And it's hard, isn't it? Some say it's convergence, and McLaren and Mercedes have brought upgrades, and that's that the story as far as convergence is wholly attributable to that. Some say that there was a fiddle break, a cheeky torque steer, cheeky inertia valve, using which Max Verstappen, at the very least, if not Sergio Checo Perez, were able to manipulate, induce oversteer with a view to mitigate, if not trend to zero, the understeer that so typifies these ground effect cars in this 2024 spec. Oh, the humanity. Right, right, let's get. Oh, here we go. Bernie Collins giving us the hot goss that you might want to have a cheeky set of extra tyres, carry them through. Why? Because if there's a red flag, then you might need to do a cheeky Max Verstappen towards the latter stage of the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, right? Go and put yourself on a cheeky set of soft or mediums under safety car conditions. Right, let's go. They've gone very techie very early, haven't they, these bods? Very, very techie. Let's go, Bernie. Bernie's saying that in putting so many laps on the hard tyre. Wait, so D did it. We spoke to this yesterday, didn't we? We did speak to this. Right, let's go. Okay, let's go. Let's go. There are your metrics once again. Brought to you by our mates over at Multiview. If you're watching, could currently do me a favour and smash a like. You guys are legend. Low-key morning from Atlanta. Bend it like Beckham. It's bend it like McLaren. The flexi wing is daft, isn't it? It is daft. I'm telling you, you got to be careful. I need to turn off these bloody adverts, ID. Right, I'm hearing that you guys are getting ads, and I don't like that. I'm going to try by next stream, no more adverts, because I do not like that. Do not like that. But I digress. Like the addition of Bernie's ridiculously knowledgeable, right? Although, if I'm going to criticise Bernie, bless her, it would be that she's not necessarily the most riveting as far as her oratory skills. You know what I mean? Very but this is, I shouldn't even criticise Bernie for that, because this is the life that we chose as far as F1 broadcastery, isn't it? Oh yes, it's 0.2 behind, 0.2 ahead, 1 stopping, wind coming in from the southwest, going through to the northeast, and yada yada. It's all very like, mate, put some life into it. I think that's why they have Pinks on the broadcast, you know. Because Pinks, again, she's not as knowledgeable necessarily as a Karun Chanda, but she injects some charisma and some verve and some, do you know what I mean? Let's have a, like, give me something. Stop being so bloody vanilla all the bloody time. Do you know what I mean? It's all boring. Anyway, stop moaning, Cameron. You know what I mean? Always with the moaning, Mr. Cameron. And what's your problem? I know. Oh, and I've frozen. No, I'm all right. Oh no, I just tried to do something and I thought I'd killed the stream, but we're all right for now. Right, let's leave it. Let's leave it. I'm not tinkering anymore before I dead the stream, and we don't want that. Go on then. 50 minutes on the clock. Let's go. FP3. Here's hoping that they get to. I listen to Bernie to fall at Paisley. This is the problem, and I don't want to be disparaging. I'm rooting for Bernie. Do you know what I mean? In a sport that's where misogyny has been ever too prevalent. I'm rooting for Bernie. I'm rooting for Pinks, and I'm rooting for Naomi Schiff. I might even at times be rooting for our reptilian shapeshifter friend, one Danica Patrick. But do you know what I mean? I don't know. Let them all have flexi wins. Well, they can't. They can. But I think that's what FIA have done in their ruling. It's like, listen, chaps, if it passed the load test, then it's legal. I'm like, of course. Yeah. Nice and linear. Come, I've had to put you on earbuds. The missus said you've become the third voice in the relay. Let's go, Diego. It's only fair, though. But then that's another problem in and of itself. My missus is always listening to podcasts where I can't even talk to her. When I see her with earbuds in, I'm like, okay, I'll just leave you alone. It's techie, this. 48 seconds behind. I know, I'm a tad behind, Hendrik. If you want to sync up, circa 40 seconds behind the time on the metrics, and I'm probably similar on the audio and visual. Okay, we talked about differences, setup approaches between Merck, Red Bull, and McLaren. I think Merck's low downforce approach is the way to go. Get yourself on pole, and Lewis do what he does best. Hold off people. Difference in extents though, Brandon, and not Kynes. Why? Well, because what you don't want to do is overcook. You don't want to overcook that low downforce setup, right? If you go too far, if you don't get the Goldilocks thesis, you know what I mean? Not too hot, not too cold, just right. If they overcook it and go too low downforce, he will burn his tyres. The tyre deg will be too much, and that'll be the dragon that they need to slave for tomorrow. Got to get it just, you know what I mean, in the middle. It's all very well and good having pace and being difficult to overtake, aka Williams, each and every single quick race like this. But if they're taking too much out of their tyres, it'll be too, like Max and the rest, McLaren, who in all likelihood will be running, if FP1 and FP2 is anything to go by. If you just extrapolate out their performance, super slow during Sector 3. If they're running super high downforce, then... But it's a good shout, Brandon. You make the point, Paisley. I actually love the girls in YouTube pre-race better than the Drive to Survive characters. It's techie, this. I feel a poll coming on at some point. Very, very techie, this. Some people love Crofty, some people hate him. It's all a bit techie, that. Perez. Zhou Guan Yu. Perez looks alright, doesn't he? Perez looks decent, man. All of a sudden he's come to. He's got pep in his step. Danny Rick, for the avoidance of doubt, is the only chap out on track at the moment. Or Zhou Guan Yu's just joined him, though, to be fair. So I don't know. It isn't misogyny if they're lizard people, Max. Mate, it's techie. Cannot believe. Although, since Danica, have you noticed, there was a rumour that they'd sacked Danica. And I know Danica tends to turn up more infrequently than, say, a Nico Rosberg or a Jacques Villeneuve. Although that's not fair. Jacques Villeneuve used to be very, very infrequent. Now he's already put in two appearances. I think Jacques Villeneuve has replaced Danica Patrick. Sky Sports F1 can't be seen. They can't condone those. You can't be having conversations on a podcast about how to spot, titled How to Spot Reptilian Shapeshifters, and then rock up on the Sky F1 broadcast. It just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. Nobody's going to tell. I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw Danica Patrick back again. You can't do that. It's nil point. Do you know what I mean? Fait accompli as far as Danica's tenure as a bloody Sky F1. Reptilian shapeshifters, love. And the joke is, I'm sure they would have advised her to take it down, but they're not. She's not taking it down, is she? No, she's not taking down that. You can't tell Danica Patrick what to do. She's a contrarian inherently by nature. Joe's finally going to claim his rightful place at the podium. Behave yourself, a booble. My favourite commentator, Ben Edwards. Everybody rated Ben Edwards a lot, OVT. I've heard good things. Perez has renewed his supply of Mexican marching powder. Behave. But how often does Lewis put himself in a position to cook his tyres? He's the best in history of the sport at controlling the race from pole position. I don't disagree, Brandon. But to what extent, like, he can't do impossible fit. I agree with you. You want to, as an example, Silverstone. Like, so many times he's made his tyres last longer, more than they're supposed to. He's a tyre whisperer. But yet again, you don't want to, you don't want to be too ambitious, I don't think. Not too ambitious. It's Goldilocks thesis. Not too hot, not too cold. Just right. Just right. If Danica doesn't show up at Austin, then it could be proof she was sat. I think she'll still be there at the USA. Potentially, Dean. Potentially. With her reptilian shapeshifter theses. I feel like, you know what the joke is? So, shall I break some news? There are too many cry buddies today. I agree with you. Kim Young's mum. I'm genuinely placed an outside bet on Stroll drivers chat. I don't hate that, Kim Young. But can you imagine Lance Stroll beating Fernando Alonso? That would, listen, if that happens, I'm retiring and I'm going to live off the land. That would be a harbinger of the apocalypse if ever I've seen one. Who's got a problem? Ocon got a problem. Alpine, mate. Engine manufacturer settings, do you know what I mean? Oh my God. Esteban Ocon, pause that. That car looks incredible from the back. Sometimes they do a sexy livery on that Alpine and it just looks incredible. Look at it. Black. Mainly black though. Pink and blue. Mate. I'll tell you a joke. There was a... They ran an old car, didn't they? Alpine at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. And it looked incredible. It was the best looking car out on track that day. But again, it must have been like a 2016 spec or something. But it looks so good. It looks so good. What was I going to say? Oh, Danica. No, right. So I'll tell you about the F1 space, how insular it is broadly. And I'm not pointing the finger at anybody in particular. But who do you think broke that? And I feel partially responsible, yeah, because that red flag conditions, by the way, as we are, we have Esteban Ocon paused out on track as we are T-minus 43 minutes remaining of this FP3 session of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix 2024. I will tell you guys about this. Keep it between us. Who do you think broke the news about Danica Patrick? Only your boy Cameron CC. I was going to do a video on Danica. I'm not a big fan of Danica. As brilliant as her, she'd drive me under the table. I know she's a very, very good driver, and her stories IndyCar and then NASCAR didn't work out, but if she'd stayed in IndyCar, she would have been really good, etc., etc. I understand it. She was the Ronda Rousey per se of North American motorsports, in that as soon as she was racing, there were many old men would watch and buy tickets. Of course, they were keen to see whether Danica Patrick could indeed be the Ronda Rousey, again, UFC mixed martial arts and Ananji of North American motorsports. And it's a compelling story, right? However, didn't work out in the end. Like, she was good, but NASCAR's a different, do you know what I mean? It's a different form and a different set of skills that you need to leverage in order to be successful as versus IndyCar. Bless Danica Patrick. But then I was doing some research. I was going to do a video on her because I don't know. There's a couple of videos out there, but here's my video. The content of my video was going to be this. She was asked a question by Joe Rogan when she went on his podcast about women in motorsports. And obviously it being Joe Rogan and him being a god tier level conspiracy theorist, Danica addressed his question in kind, gave it some respect, the respect that any question deserves. There are no stupid questions, some people say, right? However, when bloody Tom or Matt Baker of the Sky Sports F1 broadcast pitched the same question at Danica, bless him, she responded and she was quite rude. His question was like, is there a woman on the grid currently or racing in and around F1 that you think would be quick enough to put themselves in an F1 car and compete with the grizzled F1 vets, right? The men. To which Danica, and you can find this, the podcast is still out there, but I can't bring myself to watch it again because I don't like disrespect in any form. To which Danica Patrick, the legend, the reptilian shapeshifter, how to spot them, podcast host herself, responded, well, your question about women in F1 presumes, Mr. Matt Baker, that I even care. And just for the avoidance of doubt, Matt Baker, I don't. What? Who? Nah, mate. And I'm all for like friction and like linguistic beef and back and forth. I love a bit of that. You hear me trying to play devil's advocate with our old mate Mr. Windsor from time to time, and him 10-7ing me and like shooting me down with his god tier F1. Like I love a bit of back and forth. That's what, you know what I mean? That's what sports debate and F1 channels are here for, right? But respectfully, come on, Danica. So I was going to put together this video just basically saying Danica is rude. Brilliant driver, but rude and not the best broadcaster or analyst that I've ever seen in my life. And as I was doing my research, I happened on her podcast and I was scrolling down some of the titles. It's like, hang on, these are all contrarian types. She's trying to be like a Joe Rogan type. Do you know what I mean? But Joe Rogan's big now and he can have these controversial subjects as titles and nobody notices. It's just Joe Rogan being Joe Rogan. Danica Patrick, however, her profile is much more fragile, less robust, much less material than the social media footprint of one Joe Rogan, who I think is something of a podcast hero to her, because he treads his own path, doesn't he? Does what he wants to do. He's a comedian, he's a UFC broadcaster, and I think I imagine that Danica will be moulding her image in social media in the image of Joe Rogan. So I'm scrolling up and down, just doing some research, again, with a view to do some due diligence before I put together this very disparaging video on Danica Patrick, which is techie in and of its own right. Second, that you talk badly about a woman in F1, you are a misogynist. As they reel away Esteban Ocon's car. Red flag conditions. Esteban Ocon, Alpine, again, no bueno. Sponsors don't like seeing their logos on cars that are just sat there on track. You know what I mean? They need to be traveling fast. But I digress. Yeah, so I was just doing some due diligence on Danica, and I thought, oh, she's got a podcast. Let me look at what she's talking about with a view to listen to some of the podcasts to see what she's actually about. And then your boy Cameron CC happens upon this title where it says, the title is How to Spot Reptilian Shapeshifters in Real Life. I'm like, no, this has got to be an April Fool's. Click on it, and there's a lady on there, and Danica Patrick is indulging this nonsense in earnest. And so your boy Cameron decided he was going to take a screenshot of the said podcast and tweet it out. And obviously, do you know what I mean? There are people out here following your boy Cameron on Twitter sometimes, since we like to break some news from time to time. And then all of a sudden it did one of these. It was the worst kept secret in the world, right? But I feel like your boy Cameron broke it. Not saying that it wasn't there. Of course it was there. Anybody that can go and that wanted to see it and enjoys themselves a bit of F1 due diligence could have gone and spotted it for themselves. But nobody had done until your boy Cameron did. And then everybody seized upon it. You get in the bloody tweets where people are doing diatribes. Oh, I've watched the entire podcast so that you don't need to watch it. And here's what... Mate, your boy Cameron brought it out. This is why you got to stay tuned, eh? Because we pay attention over here. Go where some people won't go. Oh, George Russell changing the engine as a precaution. Nope. George Russell had metal in his engine yesterday, which isn't a good sign. Were they going to change it? It sounded like they were, and then they did not. Brandon, you're a legend, mate. Honestly, Brandon, I'm going to... Yeah, that ratio is not accepted, isn't it? Brandon. How do you like them apples, Brandon? Blue text. Can you imagine? Oh, the humanity. What's Max saying? Lizards in bikinis driving mats. It's too much. Mate. I'm getting into my first year of uni today. Any advice, AM? Congratulations, making it through to uni. I would study hard, but over and above everything, enjoy yourself at university. That's what it's there for. It's the experience. Enjoy yourself. Make lots of friends. And the friend that you make on the first day in freshers might not be the friend that you keep at the end of your tenure at university. Just enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Be studious, do the work as far as possible, but enjoy it, man. Don't say don't do anything I wouldn't do, AM. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I miss uni a little bit, I'll be honest. 155 of you watching, do me a favour and smash the like, do you know what I mean? Oreo Coke is very good. Wait till Q3. Remember, Max was fighting for pole up until Q2 at Monza. Something happened at Monza, didn't it? I feel like you've got to look, you've got to try and understand and unpick the narratives of the most recent automotive pugilism with a view to understand and extrapolate performance going forward. And I was listening to a podcast. I hadn't heard this trotted out. I feel like it was the race podcast. And they talked about Red Bull's performance at Monza being an anomaly. Why? They said because they struggled with tyres. The setup was outside of the optimum window. Again, a very narrow sweet spot to extract the best performance, 10/10ths out of that RB20. They didn't do that. And then it was a looking after tyres fiasco. You remember that the engine wasn't like they couldn't run the engine at 100% right throughout the race. So there was engine stuff too. So it just was it was an orgy of errors as far as Red Bull and that car. I think there will be I think we can all agree. Consensus is that there'll be a lot better around here. Tyres will play a part. Reliability will play a part too. And that mishmash of an underfloor upgrade or floor upgrade even will also play a part. So I think they'll be better. They will be better. T minus 34 minutes of this. Your FP3 at Azerbaijan currently. Ted Kravitz talking about Coanda exhaust systems. Hey, what do you know about Coanda exhaust systems, chap? What's he talking about? Charles Leclerc on the radio. Charles Leclerc saying, do I have time to go to the toilet? I would not go, he says. Brian Bosey, stay in that car. Charles Leclerc, you do not, sir, have time to go to the toilet. Is that an indication? Oh, you know what? I've been overly harsh on Charles Leclerc of late. Maybe I need to chill out. I was going to say, is that an indication? Would Michael Schumacher ask to go to the toilet, or would he just jump out and go? I feel like sometimes Charles Leclerc he's still got that childlike mentality, right? Miss, can I go to the toilet? As if it's school or something. Just go to the toilet, mate. For a hard worker and a person always ahead of the news. Wakasan, thank you so much. You're far too kind. We try our best out here. Do you know what I mean? But I will take credit for breaking that Danica Patrick news, because it went viral, that tweet. You can see it still on my timeline, but nobody was talking about it before. As soon as I put it out there, everyone was talking about it. Why? Because nobody else was paying attention. Do you know what I mean? Being one of these, the F1 community. No, I'm joking. Raining back at the humanity over it. It's bonkers, eh? It is bonkers. T minus 33 minutes till we get ourselves a checkered flag this session. Oh, the humanity. All right, everybody's gone now. Let's have a go. Corinne Chanduk talking about 2012. Oh, 2021. Tearing the rules up again. Lando told he needs the box. Potentially got issues. Need to cool the car. Cooling's going to be an issue around here, isn't he? Oscar Piastri goes 145.476. Is he the first day to set a proper lap? Everybody's out on track now all of a sudden, eh? George Russell with his dodgy engine does a 148.5. Lance Stroll 146.6. Oh, the humanity. All right, so we're going now. 151 of you watching Kokone, do me a favour and smash the like. Charles be like, Jay, I don't know. He's not asking that question, is he? Bonaparte's none at all. Never. He's just going to go to the toilet. Weight deduction, true. Fair play. But sometimes you got to go. Do you know what I mean? Lawson said he has been on the sim since last race for Red Bull, testing all the options to find the solutions to the super narrow operating window of the RB20. I'd hope so. Maybe they can get there. Maybe they can get there now. But they do look better around here. Less complaining for Max. Although it's still not perfect, Max says, but less complaining about. And they can't afford for the understeer to be overarching material, because they'll get found out around here. They can't be understeery. Although Max Verstappen is fast. Let's talk of the devil. 145.20, right? There you go. You can trust them now. The difference. You know where Max Verstappen is languishing? Like 0.3, 0.4 behind Checo Perez. Super slow of anybody. The slowest the slowest of anyone in Sector 3 even. Now this makes more sense, eh? Now Max Verstappen is 0.15 down the road. Alex Albon goes top. What is going on? We talked about Williams being super slippery as far as their car setup, right? Running low downforce each and every single time. 144.3. He goes quickest. Colapinto goes second quickest on a 145.186. What is going on here? Oh, my timing is all mad, isn't it? Albon, Colapinto, Verstappen. Karen Chandler predicting 42s by the end of this session as these guys as the track starts to evolve and these guys start to go 10 tenths. 10 tenths, eh? Bernie concurring that they should be carrying less fuel. Shall be like, what wall should I test now? Oh, the humanity, Daniel. I hope he doesn't crash again. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need that and we don't need that. Do you know what I mean? 145 is still low. Who are your top 5, Camp? Top 5, it's techie. I'm a bit boring with that because like I tend to go with what the odds makers say, and I think the odds makers still have Lando Norris as your favourite. And that's based largely upon the performance of him as a driver and the performance of the car at the last Grand Prix, right? Let me just check the odds. Go easy, Max. Blimey, Mr. Verstappen. Mr. Verstappen doing a Jeddah 2021 again. Using those, and Monaco 2022. Using those barriers to brush up against Lando Norris is still favourite. Max Verstappen second favourite. Charles Leclerc. I think those would be your top 3 potentially then. I know I'm being boring here, but I like to get statistical with it, me. I think Charles Leclerc, your top 3 would be Charles, Lando, Charles, and Max. In what order, though? That's where it gets techie. Although Oscar, have they disrespected Oscar? Oscar's very far away. I think I'd go. I don't know. It's so hard, bro. What is Williams on? Another illegal part? Just got no downforce on there, haven't they? But the problem with that now. Remember we were talking about the qualifying to translation. The problem with that is that they'll go very well in qualifying, but they won't last. Because Tired Egg will be the dragon that they need to slay for, and that's techie. Here are your top 5. So those are my top 4. Lando, Max, Charles, and Oscar. The order those what needs to and maybe Mercedes can throw their hat into the ring, I don't know. Cool the car is the instruction being given to Lando. Oh, they're all talking about cooling. You're in this. Lewis surprised at the Delta. 1.4 ahead. What's going on? Franco Colapinto saying at the moment he's happy with the car and its handling dynamic. Therefore, 194 of you watching concurrently, do me a favor, por favor, and smash that like. Red flag? No red flag. Surely not. Oh yeah, red flag again. I don't know who's. I'm behind on my visual. We do have a red flag. Hopefully it's just debris. Oh no, Ollie Behrman. Ollie Behrman, the curse of the rookies. Colapinto. Oh my God, he's had a big incident there. Oh no. This is the risk. I hope you're watching this. One Toto, the boy who cried wolf. Andrea Kimi Antonelli is going to cost you a lot of money next year, just like Ollie Behrman is. But he looked fast, didn't he? He did look fast, bless him. How's he crashed there? Isn't that just a runoff area? Yeah, I need to see the replay, Curran. Stop stealing the words out of my mouth, Crunchander. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Wally Behrman. No. Oh, he's bailed out it too quickly, hasn't he? Charles Leclerc settings. Bail out of that early. I don't. You know what? I'm not even going to say anything. Ollie Behrman's a rookie. We've got to give him some grace, but very similar to Charles' incident yesterday. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Says the exact. Yeah. Ollie Behrman not pleased with himself. I'm so sorry. I'm such an idiot. Sounds just like Charles Leclerc, doesn't he? On a multitude of occasions. He's got the old. His helmet looks like Jensen Button's back in the day of bronzer. Bless Ollie. You'll be all right, mate. Do you know what I mean? You'll come back stronger. You'll be all right, Ollie. Any update on the balance, Max Verstappen? Max Verstappen responds, bad, I would say. Not how I like it. Although he doesn't sound as upset as he has been. Or how I like it. That's interesting from Max. He doesn't sound overly angry again like he has done of late. But, I mean, 145.2. There's got to be some additional pace in there. But I'm looking at the variance between the Messrs Verstappen and Perez, and they're not a million miles away, are they? What's that? 0.15 or 0.015 or 0.15 even is the gap between the two of them. So maybe then, I don't know. Who's to say what engine mode they're running? And it's too hard, this. Guesswork. So your runners and riders, currently Alex Albon has the quickest lap of the session on a 144.3. As near as makes no difference, 0.4. Piastri on a 145.0. Currently, by the way, red flag conditions for the avoidance of that. Hulkenberg in third on a 145.0. Behrman, that's the pressure, right? Behrman would have been looking to match, to equal, if not better, that 145. Hence why he wanted to keep his foot in that lap. Again, wanted to keep on outperforming his teammate. But this is the problem, right? When you're a rookie, you get caught up in these things that don't necessarily matter. Just play your way into the. This is the problem, right? With these rookies, these youngsters that don't chew their food before they swallow. And you just got to back out of that, mate. Bring the car home is your first order. But I know you want to be quick, Ollie, but bring the car home. I know he's a rookie and I need to give him more grace. I understand that, but bring the car home, chap. First and foremost, Colapinto up there in fourth. Not a bad showing, but again, he needs to keep his nose, just like Ollie Behrman does, out of the wall. Don't yeet it, chap. Verstappen, Sainz, Perez, Leclerc, Alonso, Bottas, Lewis Hamilton down there in 11th position. I'd be keen to take a look at his times, pace through the speed trap though, to see whether they've tinkered with the downforce. But surely got to add more downforce on ahead of qualifying in anticipation of the race. Again, if the track evolves more than anticipated, then there'll be quids in all of the low downforce runners, Albon, Lewis, and again I'm talking about as at FP2 rather than FP3, will be quids in come the race tomorrow. Super difficult to overtake and super difficult against whom to defend. If, however, they've miscalculated and the rate of track evolution is less than anticipated, the high downforce runners are going to absolutely destroy them, because tyre deg is going to be the dragon that they need to slay for in the race, and it will get techie and they will get destroyed. Goldilocks thesis. For those of you just joining, do me a favour and smash the like. We have red flag conditions because Ollie Behrman yeeted it into the barrier, failing to back out in time, and he should have. He should have. What are you on about, Cameron? He should have. Very, very surprising not to have Yeah, everybody. Safety car is a big shout. Hence why Bernie Collins is saying what you want to do is carry more tyres through, right? So if there is a late safety car, as an example, that you'll be, as there was in 2021, by the way. Oh, George Russell isn't complaining about Ollie. He's complaining about someone else, isn't he? This guy's in the middle of the road. Mm. I wonder if safety car will cause another safety car. No, red flag's gone. Comparing Charles to Max, you did that yesterday. It seems that Max oozes in more smoothly to a lap, and Charles just suddenly thinks this is going to be fast, whilst the body says no. Jay, I don't think it's anybody that I've spoken to about Max. So you talked to Brake, right? And Brake used to be Blake Hinsey, used to be Max's performance engineer back in 2020. I want to say. And he always says that Max's gift is his ability to jump in the car and just be at 10 tenths, or as near as makes their difference 10 tenths, very quickly. Oh no, Karun Chanduk leverages the adjective clumsy as far as Ollie Behrman's yeet into the barrier. How do you deal with it now? Oh no, it's techie that. Do you change your run plan for Ollie Behrman? How do you keep his confidence up? Oh, not ideal that from Ollie Behrman, yeeting it into the barrier when he didn't need to. Back out there, mate. You got not as obvious as Charles's one yesterday, but you can see that you're not going to make it round that turn. Fail fast and early. So I think to compare. No, I think Charles goes. I think Max goes quick early. I think that's his gift. He just gets in the car and he's got one gear, and he quoted the day, Dave, and he's very quick to find the limit. Is Max? I don't know how Charles likes to play his way into that crease, but Charles just overcooks it often, doesn't he? Doesn't read the room, the circumstantial room, as far as the automotive assignment that he's been set. Charles sometimes. Jan penalty too. Did he get a penalty as well? Surely not. Surely not. The difference between F1 and F2, F3 might be too big in terms of speed, cornering. So the new guys, well, these guys, Daniel, we're talking. Ollie Behrman was saying that the F1 cars are almost easier to drive than the F2 cars. That's why he went so well in Jeddah. He said, not me. I don't know. It's just a different formula, right? It takes some getting used to. No, these guys get tons of experience driving previous years' cars before they. It's a good shout. It's a good shout. Alpine got 2 tractors on trial. No, don't say it's not so. These young kids have a lot to learn. I agree. They've just gotta be a bit, play their way into the crease, just a tad. Do you know what I mean? Hi, Benjamin. Now talking about the toe. Toes are going to be super powerful. So too is DRS. But again, good luck. Mercedes won't do, I don't know, one of those ones like Monza. If we're talking about qualifying, trying to get a decent toe is just logistical nightmare settings to sort out, right? Norris has turned up his engine. There you go, 144.2. I guarantee you he's not slowest around sector 3 now. Nor Max Verstappen. That's misdirection. Prestige settings. Don't believe the hype as far as Lando, Nice and McLaren all of a sudden struggling. You know, you always trust the F1 actuarials, and they said that Lando Norris is still favourite, so I defer to them. Do you know what I mean? Don't buy it. The toe's too powerful. The DRS is not, says Jay. I know Red Bull would be back strong this week. They can't be that bad for that long. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't pass the smell test. Again, understand the ills, their travails, the source of their travails, mechanically, technically, in the previous Grand Prix, and then that shows you that you shouldn't expect that this Grand Prix, right? Tyres was the story. Engine reliability issues was the story. Balance of the car was the story. And I feel like they've solved for most of those things with this upgrade that they've brought to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Oof. Oh my God, Alex Albon gets nailed. Alex Albon does a sick lap, courtesy of a cheeky toe on the final back straight. On a start finish straight even, but then gets displaced immediately by one Charles Leclerc on a 1:43.455. Did anybody say that Charles Leclerc isn't fast? If they did, then they would be talking out the side of their mouth, because he's nothing if not speedy. But there's a tax that comes with that, isn't there? Charles Leclerc tax, aka modern day journalese. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to go. Williams are cooking. OVT, they're cooking at the moment, man. But they've got to. How are they going to be for the race? It's going to be like a sleeping policeman, a stumbling block around which cars need to drive. Albon's second sector. Yeah, Albon was on it, wasn't he? Bro just does not like Charles. I don't. I was saying to Shez yesterday, I don't dislike him. He's a good guy. I'm going to tell it how it is, right? But I am a little bit indifferent to Charles Leclerc. I just don't. I don't know. This isn't me saying he's a douchebag, because that he's not. He's a really, really nice guy. A good human. A good son. A good boyfriend. Like, he's a good guy, but I just don't. No, he's not my favorite. I just don't really care about. I don't know. Until he starts to solve for the. I think the mistakes make me be a little bit indifferent to him. I've seen this story before. When I was a young gun watching sports, I used to watch loads of. Safa Powell's a brilliant example in athletics. Brilliant as far as his natural talent and ability, but just for whatever reason couldn't get it done. Before the bright lights, he choked. He didn't have a clutch gene. And not to compare Charles Leclerc to my old mate Safa Powell, but kind of. Like, I mean, he crashes too much. And his fan base cheese me off too much. It's talking nonsense all the bloody time. We are T-minus 14 minutes away from a checkered flag. This FP3, Checo Perez, 143.389. Oh, the humanity. How about them sessions, those driver sessions with Rob Wilson, Checo Perez? Is this Checo Perez, or is this the Mexican Minister of Defense showing up all of a sudden? Looks like he's gone away and he's putting some gym sessions. Looks chiseled in his face now. What's going on? This is daft. Checo Perez goes quickest. He's 0.2 down the road from his teammate Max Verstappen. I still don't believe that. Oh, Perez is the only two-time winner. I agree, Max. Well done, Piastri, Checo. When a Safa Powell. Yeah, it's ridiculous, visual. That level of performance is daft. I reckon he could have broke the world record that day had he run through the line. Bonkers, like unprecedented levels of natural talent. But again, for a Safa Powell, the lights were too bright. Maybe there's a parallel between him and Charles Leclerc. Although Charles hasn't had the car yet consistently enough, if we're being honest, for me to fair test that. Over to that was wide. I hope it carries over to quali. Now Max is coming back. I think Max will be. I think Max will go close to pole. He's not having it. Oh, Piastri goes top though, mate. It's tight at the top, isn't it? Piastri 142.7. Purple sector 1 and sector 2. 36.3 is near as makes their difference, and 41.6. That's bonkers. Like, mate, that McLaren. Don't back against McLaren here. I think Red Bull will go close. Potentially another damage limitation session from Max, but I think they will be quicker, closer to McLaren. Check the PU, says George Russell. Something sounds and feels a little bit funny. Maybe the brake and not the throttle. Delayed message. Now he's gone quick. George sounds very strange over the radio. 2 or 4 of you watching concurrently, do me a favour and smash the like, por favor. We are 11 minutes and 45 seconds away from a checkered flag. This FP3 at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix takeaways. Everybody looks fast. There are no conclusions. Ollie Behrman stacked it, yeeted it indeed into the barrier. George Russell on radio. Same message. George Russell saying, just check the PU. Something feels a little bit funny, mainly off the throttle and under braking. Again, is this a function? Is this a function of his power unit deficiencies that he experienced yesterday? Again, they said that there were metal debris spotted in George Russell's P. That's bonkers. Come on, this is nuts. What, Perez again in ending season helping Max? Mate, Ron, he'll be there or thereabouts, say. 142.7. Oof. Yellow flag settings. 2022. Charles had the car at the start. By Imola, you could see it was slipping away. But he looked incredible, that visual. That's when I bought all of the Charles PLC shares that I could... Here we go. George Russell does what you should do when you approach that corner with too much speed. Bail out. Fail fast. Yeah, Charles looked incredible. I remember there was a time when they restarted the race and Charles... It might have been Bahrain 2022. And Charles restarted ahead of Max. I'd seen a season worth of Max. That was a really good cut. Rate that from the broadcaster. Very sexy pan from the onboard to Toto Wolff in the garage. There was a race that I remember watching where I saw Charles Leclerc. Through 2021, Lewis Hamilton, one of his failings, my criticisms of my favourite driver, outbraked himself down the runoff area, George Russell. One of my criticisms of Lewis Hamilton, if it ride feels terrible, says George, all throughout 2021, Lewis had failed to clock. Safety cars become an intrinsic part of F1. Post 2020, 2021, I mean, you saw how Abu Dhabi ended. All throughout that season, safety car restarts were just Baku, brake magic settings, safety car restarts and the ability to nail them. Super bloody important. But what I'm saying, Abu Dhabi was different because they did a full restart, right? Not restart behind the safety car. And say all that to say this, throughout 2021, where there were proper restarts from behind the safety car, where the race lead would govern. Do you know what I mean? He determined when the hammer was dropped. Max Verstappen's got a very weird way, because he races, so he spends so much time on the sim. He's got a very particular way of starting the race. And periodically, he gains a lot of time, right? And I watched Lewis so many times behind Max Verstappen just get jumped, taken by surprise by these weird... He does this snaky thing, and then as he goes to warm the tyres up again and do a cheeky traverse, 322 kilometres per hour, as Charles Leclerc goes purple for sector 1. Lewis Hamilton, 143.301. Bloody Norris, still half a second down on Oscar Piastri. But yeah, I say all that to say this. Max Verstappen has a very peculiar way of gapping whoever's following him. In 2021, 9 times out of 10 it was Lewis. And they always struggled. Even if Lewis was in front, Max would harass him and get close to him and end up gapping him like, do you know what I mean? Lewis wouldn't gain an advantage off of the safety restart if he was in front of Max Verstappen. And it ended up cheesing me off. And I was like, who can suss out these Max Verstappen restarts? Who's going to be ahead of Max Verstappen and nail the restart? And do you know who did it? It was Charles. In 2022, there's a race restart early on. And Charles made the way that Max tries to get alongside you, 200 level IQ, and he turned that into a disadvantage, right? The time when he dropped the hammer, the angle of turn for Max Verstappen was too acute. So he gapped Max nicely, and that made me think that Charles was a god tier one. I still think he's god tier. I still think he's brilliant. I still think he's a fantastic racing mind, but sometimes you can be a bit Tim Nice, but dim a bit noddy. But that time, that race restart, I thought, oh my God, like on the back of that, I thought Charles is the one. Charles has just shown my driver, Lewis Hamilton, how to do race restarts against Max Verstappen. But then there's a brilliant article that was written by You Yield or We Crash, says Nate. There's a brilliant article written by Mark Hughes that says that Charles' gift is that because he's raced Max Verstappen for so many years, in stark contrast to Lando Norris per the Austrian Grand Prix this year, that Charles, if he knows anything, it's how to race Max Verstappen. how to do the automotive pugilistic aikido to leverage and use Max Verstappen's aggression against him, or at least he did in 2022 that time. I genuinely saw that and I thought, oh my, I remember writing to friends and saying, this Charles Leclerc could be the next one, and he still could be. At least looks like he can get pole or second. I don't know, Daniel. I don't know, I'm not buying it. I'm reserving judgment as far as Mercedes. The boys and girls at Brackley and Brixworth, good to see Lewis getting one in. I don't hate it, Gian. I don't hate it, but as far as Lewis, I am skeptical. I mean, 143.3 plays 143 flat from Russell. So Lewis is like 0.3 behind the pace as far as if George is extracting everything out of that car in FP3, then do you know what I mean? 2:15 if you're watching, could go do me a favour and smash the like. We'll be here 30 minutes before qualifying as always, discussing, dissecting, chewing the F1 fat as per usual. What do you mean? T-minus 5 minutes away from the end of the session. And it has been an interesting one. Lewis looks like he can get pole. Can Lewis get pole? Don't know about that, Daniel. 6th favourite. 6th. That, in my opinion, will mean that if he gets better than 6th, he'll have done well. On the grid I'm talking about. Cam, you said RB are back. Will Max get pole? Says Chris. I think he'll go close. I think he'll go close. 2nd favourite. I think he'll go close. I don't think they've shown their hand properly yet. Look at that. 142. 142.8 plays 142.5. I don't think Max is a specialist around Baku. Not like his mate Checo Perez. I mean, it's a bit stop-starty for Max, right? Max, of course, prefers your medium to high speed turns. Do you know what I mean? But I think he'll go close. I mean, Max. Lando on it. Bloody Nora Lando. He's keen to put one up there, isn't he? Oh, Lando knows 142.7. Oof. Still 0.2 adrift of Charles Leclerc, though, eh? Mr. Charles Leclerc, aka modern day Journalese, is fast. This is not a drill, ladies and gentlemen. I think Ferrari are going to be quick around here. And now that, where's Carlos Sainz? Carlos Sainz nowhere. Although my guy Peter D. Windsor said that Carlos Sainz, you can expect him to go well around here. And Peter D. Windsor, as far as prognostications and predictions, is very rarely a million miles away from the truth. Is this a mistake from... Ooh. Carlos Sainz having to go wide. Oh my gosh. Who was that? Was that Max? Yeah, Paris. Oh no. Wow. Is that somebody under investigation then? What, a Red Bull failing to get out of the way of Carlos Sainz, finding themselves conveniently right on the apex. You don't want to be there, eh? You don't want to be there. Come on, Red Bull. Better communication, more timely communication, por favor. What are we doing here? Right. T-minus 2 minutes away from the end of the session. And it's been eventful. Everybody looks fast. I don't know what the takeaways are, I'm being honest. I'm trying to put on my forensic accounting cap and it's not happening. I can't understand the causality and the plot lines. Here we go. I'll try and summarise. Ferrari look quick. McLaren look quick. Red Bull look quicker. So I just don't know. There's ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. And again, it's a Jekyll and Hyde type circuit, isn't it? So this is where it gets techie, ladies and gents. Like, how do you set up your car? Do you set up your car for sector 1 and sector 3? Quick, high speed turns. Again, not dissimilar setup to Spa-Francorchamps. How do you do it? Oh, George Russell, 142. So everybody's bloody quick. 142.5. Yeah, you need a toe, don't you? That's what you need. You need a toe. But again, Curran making the point, right, taking some downforce off. Oh, Perez onto it. Oof, no, took too much curb, did Checo. Perez was on it. Tutu, one of you watching Kokoni, do me a favour and smash a like. We'll be here 30 minutes before qualifying and, of course, 30 minutes before the race proper tomorrow. Going to get techie, ladies and gents, I'm telling you. We are 45 seconds away from a checker flag this session. Oh, the humanity. Go on, then. That is the question. High downforce set to 1 and set to 2 like Red Bull, or low downforce for set to 3. It's techie, isn't it? Jekyll and Hyde settings. Jekyll and Hyde of a track, per se. Gio will magically get faster in qualifying. Behave yourself, Michael. Take that tinfoil cap off. Stole Lewis Data's. Behave yourself. Wow, George Russell. George Russell's quick. Spoke too soon, Cam. Merck looked good. I know all of a sudden, right? But again, I don't trust it. You're a legend, Max. No, thank you. Perez at risk of being a classic P8. No. Oh, yeah, for the session. He's always in P8, isn't he? P7 this time around. Checo's P1 in the race and Max is... What do you think they did, Tian? They switched them instantly. They wouldn't even do... Last time they were close on track. Do you remember Checo Perez was getting a bit fighty? They just boxed Checo instantly. There will be no papaya rules at Red Bull. They don't mess about. They haven't got points to throw away, these lot. Not like McLaren. Mate. Red Bull know exactly what time it is as far as what's required to win themselves championship. And then they won't do that. They'll just box Checo straight away. What are you talking about? They could switch Checo because, yeah, that won't be a question at Red Bull. That's the remit of the papaya-coloured car. Nonsense. That, ladies and gents, is the end of your session. So close. Top of your timing charts for FP3. George Russell, King George Russell, first of his name, on a 142.5. Charles Leclerc, 142.527. Only 1/10 for drift. 100 for drift. Oh, the humanity. Norris on a 142. So everybody's bloody close. Look at that. 0.5 covers the top 6. Jeez. Max Verstappen down in 5th. 142.8. 3/10 of drift of George Russell's. But again, George, remember, got a toe. You got a toe, didn't he, George? So how, you want to normalise for that. If you get a toe, then you're going to gain at least a 10th or 2, eh? Oh, the humanity. This is going to get techie a little bit later on. Qualifying is going to be chaos. Runners and riders, again, quickest this session, George Russell, 142.5, courtesy of a cheeky toe. I think if you normalise for that toe, I think Charles Leclerc has the whip hand as far as who's quickest in absolute terms. 142.5. Sans toe in 3rd and 4th. You've got the McLaren boys, Messrs Norris and Piastri, Verstappen, Sainz, Perez, Alex Albon, Colapinto going well. Lewis Hamilton in 10th on a 143.3. Ollie Behrman, the highlight of the session, yeeting it, failing to back out of this session in a timely manner, just as did one Charles Leclerc yesterday. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a problem. Listen, we're going to be back. It's going to be a decent qualifying session, yeah. We'll be back 30 minutes before lights out. I'll have the stream up in short order. I'll see you then. It's going to be chaotic. See you now next time, as always. Remember to look, but never stare. Peace.